But go into the emotions is the key. When you feel it, you heal it. When you deflect it and you're like, I'm not going to think negative thoughts, I just don't want to think negative thoughts because I want to manifest it, it's still harboring inside of your body. You're not really releasing it. That was a belief that then caused me to feel separate from other people, to where I felt like people didn't understand me. I started to feel lonely. So one thing I had to do is I had to change my belief system. I had to start seeing that everyone's on their own level of awakening, their own path. But basically what I had to do is I had to let go of that belief. If you have a belief that people aren't like you, they don't get you, then guess what? You will start to feel separate from them. You'll start to feel like you can't connect with them. And that's what happened to me for a long time. So eventually what I had to do is, it took me years. I dropped the belief that said that people don't get me, that there aren't people like me. And as I dropped that belief, I met Victor Odo. I met other friends, high vibe friends. And my life has completely changed because I've let go of that belief. A lot of this, by the way, with spirituality and ego, comes from a level of significance. Well, if they don't get me, then, I'm just special. And there's not many people like me. I'm a special snowflake. And when you let go of that belief, then you can actually connect to people. And as I let go of that belief, my outer reality began to change. So it's kind of interesting there. But the spiritual ego and the loneliness, let go of the belief that says people don't get you. You might find that you start feeling more connected to people. Now, the fourth mistake I made on the process of raising my vibration, this will save you a lot of time, is for a long ass time, I was waiting to manifest my dream life. And I was just focused on thinking better thoughts. My idea was, I'm going to sit on a couch and I'm going to think a better thought. And I'm going to do, like the Abraham Hicks teachings. And that's what I focused on for a long time, is thinking, manifesting, visualizing, but I wasn't actually being or doing. I was just thinking. Then, you want to know what changed everything for me is when I committed to an identity, a vision of making full-time videos on YouTube. I was working at Barney's in New York in women's shoes. I was sitting around. I realized, you know what? This is a download. If I make videos every single day for a year, my life will transform. So I became very busy. I was making a video every single day while I was working 40 hours a week selling women's shoes. And eventually, things popped off. Videos went viral. People started liking my message. I got better and better at speaking. I started becoming good at marketing. But I had to take action. So your full-time becomes, your hobby becomes your full-time when you start energetically treating it like your full-time. And when I started taking action, I also changed my identity. I saw myself as a hard worker. I saw myself as somebody that goes after things. And that really changed my identity in a powerful way. I started to view myself that way, and people would ask me, how do you make so many videos? It was easy, because it was a part of my identity. But then 2 years later, I had to drop the identity of, working hard, believing I had to work hard to be successful. It became a shadow. But it served me to get out of working a 9-to-5 job I hated while I was trying to manifest meeting Tony Robbins, and he was going to put me on the stage and stuff. That's literally how I was trying to manifest stuff. And then I took accountability and I started being that identity. So don't wait. Take massive action. Be grounded in this reality. Part of our reality is we do have physical action. We have physical bodies. Take action with that body, that avatar that you have, that beautiful avatar. And realize that as you are being it, I was focused on being a full-time YouTuber. I was then shifting to that becoming my dominant reality. I wasn't just thinking it. And I see a lot of people trapped in the thinking. Oh, I'm going to do this, I think that. No, be it. Be about it. Now, here's another mistake I made with raising my vibration. For years, as I was learning about some of these concepts, I learned about that of, I started smoking a lot of cannabis. And, I'm saying some things in this episode some of you ain't going to like. I smoked cannabis for 2 years. A lot. I really enjoyed it. And I really relied on it. It helped me eat and sleep at night. Plus, I just enjoyed it with friends and family. I played basketball outside till 2 a.m. sometimes. I just loved it. But I was so resistant to seeing anything that said anything about me not smoking cannabis. I wouldn't even entertain it. I would see something about it on, I'd read about something. Nope, that's not for me. I would rationalize it and I would use it. Now, here's the thing. It's a plant consciousness. I think there's things we can learn from it. It's a powerful healer. But people overuse it. And I was overusing it. I was using it all the time to feel high. Now, here's what happened. As I raised my vibration, as I started to do meditation, my vibration raised. When my vibration raised, I would then smoke cannabis. It would lower my vibe. But it was hard for me to let go of because I identified with doing it so long. Same with drinking. It would lower my vibe. Your natural state of being is meant to be high. You're meant to be high as fuck all the time. It's just that we have to let go of attachments. We have to let go of our painful past. We have to create more stillness within our body. We have to be inside of our body, and then we'll naturally feel high. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm not trying to brag or like put it. I know I sound like a square, but I just love life. Like I really do. I think that being high is our natural state of being. The key though is realizing that if you do it right now, there's a payoff to doing it, and it might be raising your vibe because there's maybe some stuff to deal with, maybe some getting more inside of your body, and just being honest with yourself. I don't think weed is bad for everybody. Just like I don't think there's nothing wrong with being vegan. It's just that it becomes a belief system. It becomes something we're trapped in when we're not aware of it. And the thing that I'm trying to encourage people to do is to take their power back. Stop giving it over to belief systems. To realize you choose what gives you meaning, what you're choosing meaning in your life. Now, I gave a lot of positive meaning to cannabis for a long time, and therefore I needed it. Spending a lot of money on it, buying bongs, buying different stuff. And then in 2012, I went through my awakening. I quit. And I think for a lot of you, if you were to quit, I think of it like this. Smoking cannabis can be a big relief for people. It can relieve tension, and then it raises their vibe for a period of time. But then when they're not using it, they may go back down to feeling resistance. Now, if you process that emotion, you feel safe in your body, you do meditations, you create that stillness, you'll naturally raise your vibe, and you'll process all this lower vibrational emotion. And then you'll move beyond it. However, a very powerful part of this is going more inside of your body and understanding your own energy. Your energy, when you're creating your dream life, needs to be focused. That's what I found in my life, creating momentum. When you're smoking cannabis, it's diffusing your energy. It's diffusing your energy, and it's over here, and you're kind of okay with where you are. It's not a bad thing to be okay with where you are. You don't want to always be trying to get to the future. But at the same time, I found that when I smoke cannabis, my energy is not as streamlined. It's not as passionate. I have friends that smoke a lot of cannabis, and when I see them, I'm like, hey, man, what's going on? Oh, just kind of chilling, doing this. Like, there's not a lot of enthusiasm in their voice because it's a reflection of their energy. Not everybody. There are some people that can smoke, have a lot of energy, and maybe they're honest with themselves, and that's how they do it. But I'm just sharing this because I believe that if a lot of you went inside of your own bodies and you started meditating and you got rid of it, which I know is scary to do. When I quit smoking cannabis, I made the choice. I knew I should quit for a while. I was feeling the inclination to do so. I still was like kind of tempted though, and I went and I bought a new bong from like this. I had friends that owned a smoke shop. They still own a smoke shop in Vegas. Bought this really nice bong, took it home, I took one hit, and immediately on the out breath, I knew that was my last hit I was ever going to take. And as I breathed out, I started crying. I had literally this experience where I felt what I made everyone else feel when I was smoking. It was almost like I was cutting my karma with cannabis. What happened was I had an ex-girlfriend that didn't like that I smoked because I was always smoking. I like emotionally wasn't there for her. It was my escape. And then I also felt the energy of every time I would smoke and then go to my dad's house. And my dad knew I was smoking, but I was trying to hide it. And like my eyes were completely glazed. And I felt guilty about that. It was my own guilt, you know. But in that moment, I felt all this emotion come up. And I started crying. And I just knew that was the last hit I was going to take. And it was this emotional breakup that felt empty for a while. When a lot of people have trouble breaking up with cannabis, it's because you're literally breaking up with like something that used to make you feel very safe and comfortable. And cannabis is like, honestly, it's a divine plant. But people are abusing it and using it too much. So that's why it feels like a breakup. They feel empty when they and anxiety when they break up with, smoking all the time. But I promise that then you start having more energy, you become more clear, you go inside of your body more. If you commit more to your own work and your own shadow work, you'll find that you really raise your vibration in a powerful way. So, I think that being high is your natural state of being. You don't need cannabis. You don't need alcohol. You don't need any of that. And fixing your diet too. Still eating higher vibrational foods. Whatever that is for you. It could be just plants. It could be plants and a little bit of fish. It could be whatever resonates with you. But the key to this is really being honest with yourself, which is very hard to do sometimes because we're so attached to these beliefs. Now that's the fifth one. The sixth one was this is a mistake I see a lot of people making too, that I made for a long time. I would resist going into my shadow because going into my shadow felt low vibe. And I was afraid that if I went into my shadow, I would manifest more low vibe stuff. So when you first hear The Secret, it's like, oh, your thoughts are creating your reality. Don't think bad thoughts. Then you start like becoming at this like thing in your mind where you're afraid to think negative thoughts. What happened is I would then be afraid to go into the shadow, into the painful past, stuff like that. And I would resist that. I'd be like, oh, I'm going to manifest more bad if I feel that. But actually what I've learned is that you need to go into the shadow, go into the uncomfortable feelings and process them, allow them to be there, and then you heal. And if you didn't know, I have an inner child meditation. A lot of the shit we experience in our life is the residuals of our inner child wounding. I have a meditation. If you go to aarondowdy.com/child, CHILD, you will see that meditation. It's completely free. We go to Kauai. We energetically go to Kauai, Hawaii, and we meditate and we connect to our own inner child and we give them the attention so that they're seen. We listen to them. We give them the love that maybe we craved growing up, and we heal from the inside out. But go into the emotions is the key. When you feel it, you heal it. When you deflect it and you're like, I'm not going to think negative thoughts. I just don't want to think negative thoughts because I want to manifest it. It's still hard being inside of your body. You're not really releasing it. And for a long time, I rejected that because of that. So I recommend that you look into that too, and that you realize the more you feel it, the more you heal it. That meditation, I think, would really help. And the last thing I want to talk about is belief traps. So part of that is like the number 3 and number 1, right? Becoming aware of number 3 was the spiritual ego and loneliness, the belief we have about that. Judging other people for the way that they eat is another way of that trap that we may fall into. The spiritual ego, same thing. We created a step of like disconnection, but the belief traps we fall into can become very addictive. This is also where I recommend people may start going down the conspiracy theory rabbit holes of understanding how reality works, and that there's people that have controlled different aspects of reality for many years, and that there's certain intention there to keep people in lower states of consciousness. It's a rabbit hole to go down, but it's a very dark rabbit hole that you start to have weird dreams from and stuff. And not saying you can't be aware of it, but pay attention where you put your energy. Pay attention where you're putting your belief systems. And one of the most important things we can do is let go and become aware of our own beliefs. Become aware of our belief system. It says that people don't understand me. Become aware of our belief systems that say that, other people are sheep. Become aware of our belief systems just in general. That's one of the main keys. And that's one of the main drivers behind the new Daily Vortex app, is creating meditations that help people unravel their own belief systems. Creating meditations that help people, if they have beliefs of scarcity, they have beliefs they're not lovable, they're not worthy. Having meditations that help us unravel those belief systems because they're not actually true. This is a clip from the Daily Vortex podcast, where I post 2 times a week, and we go really deep on understanding consciousness, understanding how to raise our vibration, how to bring these spiritual concepts down to earth in a relatable and practical way. For the whole entire episode, you can click the link below, but also subscribe to that of the Daily Vortex podcast on either iTunes or Spotify. That's where there are a backlog of over 100 episodes, plus the whole entire episode length is there. On this channel, you will only be seeing clips moving forward. So if you want the whole episodes, you can click the link below. You can subscribe. They're also very easy to listen to. They're automatically downloaded once you subscribe. Plus, you'll never miss an episode. So this is where most of my intention is and my energy is going these days. And I look forward to bringing you many more amazing episodes. But for the rest of this episode, you can click below and you can subscribe to the Daily Vortex podcast. And I look forward to helping you expand your consciousness in a very practical and relatable way. So I'll see you on the next episode. And as always, peace, much love, and namaste.